All right, now, don't you just hate these little? I can move on, and I mean I'm wasting my time with these little. When I say wasting my time, it's like I want to make sure that you got like the gist of what I'm doing and follow along. Where when it comes to these fighting with these little, I call them little boogers, and you dig in there and it won't come out, and you dig some more and you dig some more, and I mean all I wanted to show you is at least, well, you carve here and cut there, and hopefully the boogers will come out, and that's why I hate to waste your time. And like I said, this is not only a fast pace video, it's that it is I'm trying to get as much in as I can, and I just don't want, I think you already know how to keep picking until you get it done. Oops. Now, one of the things that some people have asked, like I just started one, like I always talk about the 10 degree or whatever the degree is, and then you come back the other way, and what you want is a nice clean, and it would just cut away, and it would just drop away, in which 90% of the times it doesn't. And then what happens is you got to come back again. That's fine, you got to come back again, but a lot of people who are getting frustrated, and I get frustrated too, as you come back again and again and again, and not only does it not come out, but now it's starting to get kind of furry. And the best I could say is you concentrate as to where the tip of that knife is going, and it is as if you are carving a cellophane or a clear piece of, well, material. Oops, there's the scrape again. And you could see where the tip of that knife goes when you go one way, and you could see where the tip of that knife goes the other way, and then of course you have the two match or meet, and it pops right out. And it just takes a lot of practice and thinking. See, that kind of relatively comes out. A little more here. So you can pull that out with your knife, but don't pry. Now we're okay here. I mean, don't pry, you'll lose the tip of your knife, but when you start doing really tiny details, oops, there we go again. Little tiny details, you don't want to pry, even especially if you're doing lips and stuff like that. You cut one way, you cut the other, and it doesn't fall off. Well, you better get in there and you better cut where it's holding on to and not pull. Now stuff like this, we can get away with pulling, and if it leaves a kind of a funny, mark, then we can always get back to it. Here it is again. See, it's starting to turn into like fur. Okay, we can come back and I can keep picking and picking. I just want to get going here. There's a little bit of, I think, some fur there. Oh, and I do need my pencil. Oh, good, it didn't go too far down. You get into that age that you can't talk and bend, and you make all these noises. Keep moving. Now, when putting in the heel with feet that are together like this, you don't have to go all the way like that. I mean, you can pencil it in so you get a feel for it. And of course, all you need to do is one side and cut down, cut across. I'm cutting funny right now because the way this is, and that's all you need. I mean, the deeper you go, I mean, when this thing is standing, you know, standing, you just want enough so you don't, I mean, it gets dark in there. If that did go all the way, it would be dark. And so it's dark like that. There you be. You don't have to go all the way through. Now I'll pencil in this time since the legs are, the feet are much bigger. And when I had the smaller ones, it's kind of difficult to pencil. But you want the heel, the heel. And being together like this is kind of easier. Whoops. And then you want the sole. Now the sole, it depends on how thin you have it. I almost have it sort of like that. You know, it's kind of hard to measure. In this case, what would that be in this? I mean, he's like about, I think, 10 inches. So that'd be a quarter of an inch to 3/8 to 1/8, pardon me. And you're going to come up a little bit. And go back down again. Come this way. Oops. Careful, the pencil almost got away there. And then come up a little bit. And down. V tool, where are you? Uh-oh, where are you? Oh, there it is. I knew I'd find it. So you start in. This is just a straight down cut. A little dryness in my throat here. All right, there's that. You know what? I'm going to put my glove on, even though, or what I should be doing is maybe drilling, or not drilling, grinding just the corner off. Oh, again, it's nuthatch o'clock, if you can hear that. Ooh, where are we over here? There we go. Continuing on, I like to, instead of just simply doing one foot completely and then doing the second foot completely, is wherever the carving is, that's where I'll get the V tool on. So in a way, you're doing two at the same time. I mentioned before the idea of the stone polisher and how you keep moving things around. I do that a lot, but the thing on the video is I do have to have a more straighter course of what I'm doing. But I usually do this. When I get it roughed out, then I do start at the bottom and work up usually. And doing the medium details, we are actually, I think, there's the face, just other than getting the face started, most of the medium details are there. The thing that's left, I mean, we wanted to do the finger and face, and then we'll do the bow there. But everything is just a matter of detailing. A little bit of cleaning up and detailing. Okay, so the feet is almost done. Picking again. Let's take this off. Get my bigger knife. And let's put a dent in there. I mean, Santa's a hard-working man. It's gonna, yeah, he's a hard-working man, all right, for when it comes to getting ready for Christmas. But I'll tell you, come January, February, he and the missus, they're on the beach somewhere, Cancun or Bahamas or where the hell's. They're always happy to work. But anyways, as for now, he's busy. He's doing his thing. All right, moving up. We did clean this up quite a bit. There's a little bit of the mark left there. Making sure that the apron. Now I got the apron, I want to say perfect. If you want to imperfect it, we might do that a little bit. Going to add a little bit of a wave to it. Just a little bit, just to put some imperfections into it. I mean, we don't want this to be too mechanical looking. Now, a little bit of the legs. Now, before we do some detailing on the leg part, now a lot of this, what I'm doing is still goes for when you're carving, and now it's detail time. That's the thing that's different here. This is not a cutout that I just come out of my brain and, you know, let's do this kind of thing. This is already, now we're in detail, and I want to separate the legs a little more because we like to get as much shadow shading in there as we can. Nice shadow as we can. Get in there. Here we go with that picking again. This is kind of like a chip. If you have the opportunity to do a chip carving class, that's when you, especially you're frustrated at first because that green and just a little thing of green will hold on to that chip, and you gotta futz with it until finally you understand how to do the chip, but still. And again, come back some more. There it is. You got to go this way. And you just got to figure where is the tip of that knife is going to make that. And I think there's a lot of the crap and pucky that's in there. So get a little more of a shade. We'll work with that. Another thing that I want to do while we're here is add a little bit of undercutting. Like this is end grain, so it's going to be kind of a little difficult. And it adds that extra shadow is what we want. So we can do either a nice concave or a deeper shadow. See, it adds, kind of adds to that. See, the light is still not right. I mean, we've got a lot of shadows because of the way the light is already, but get the finger on that because this is an end grain and I'm putting a lot of energy on it, so make sure the finger's out of the way. And also, now if you're doing this on your lap, you better be careful that you don't slip. I always say you carve down, not across. So you were carving down. When it comes to the edge like this, you turn because you're carving down. Let's see if we can take all that out of there. Now, one thing we're kind of lucky with the boot here. The boot is going to be a dark brown to black, what I usually do. I don't know if I did it to that one. I did do it to that one a little bit. Is I painted the boot brown as a leather, but then I used black as a shading. And you add that black with the brown, and it's nice, deep brownish complexion. Okay, be careful. All right. And you can do the same a little bit with the it's kind of hard to think, talk, and bear down at the same time here. His apron here. I know I get it. You could. I'm not going to spend too much time with that. The thing that's very interesting, when you get to the bottom, you probably can get away with a lot of stuff. I mean, all right, here's what we want to do the pants here. We've done a lot of other pants. Oh, what is that? Get that out of there. Get that out of there. Now I'm going to put this dent in there. That's about a 30-ish degree. Put a lot of in it there. Yeah, you don't want the pants to be straight down, and it's too boring. And then you just do a little bit of a twist here. There we go. Okay. And again, there's going to be quite a bit of picking and cleaning. Get out of there. I mean, see, the other thing too is, having an audience, as it were. I still want to impress and not, gee, you're a real sloppy carver. Well, that's what it usually is at first, but we're doing detail. Now, that's the problem. All of that will get picked, like I did with my other carvings. Moving on up. Yeah, let's do the apron a little bit here. Now, this is going to be kind of easy. What I did for the pockets, I did take my knife and V-tool and got it started. I want to make sure all of the marks are off here. And then I want to make sure that the pocket has the more three-dimensionality, has the higher ground, as it were. And I want to point out that you know, this has been roughed out from a pattern, and sometimes that routing a tip or bit, or I think bit is the right word, is a little wider, and so when you get to these places here, it'll, instead of straight, it'll kind of give this, and it'll come down round instead of it being straight down, which also means we have extra to play with if you want to kind of do a little change up on it, and maybe you want a bigger bowl or a bigger this or bigger that. Like I said, I want to kind of make sure that pocket is higher. He may have something in his pocket, I'm not sure. But usually the pocket will at least kind of hang kind of forward. And I'll make sure that I've demonstrated that. Now what I want to take is a smaller round tool, probably number 9, and just take the crease out of it. I still want to have some border, a little bit, but I want to take the crease. I still want to see some kind of a border going on. See just a little bit of router marks there, or bit marks. Excuse me, just a little bit of roundness to it. Okay, bringing it around. The last of the cleaning up. Now here, I want to put some good shadowing, and I'm really going to cut deep here. I don't want it too thin so it would break off if this fell, or as you're trying to move it around with your hand and grabbing a hold, and I don't want it too thin. And here we are going to have to get a chisel in there. Again, I cut one way and I cut the other, and it didn't come off. I think it's not as deep. Oh, there. I think I didn't have it as deep as I wanted it. There we go. And again, we can shape that more for more detail. See how that comes out like that. That's a nice way it comes out instead of having it straight. Now here, like I said, if you want to dig in there, like we did here, you go right ahead. Number one, it's at the bottom, and number two, it's the end grain. I mean, you could take a chisel and do some of that. Now I want to make sure I come to an end here, so I don't get into the arm. The arm is now this is open. I'm going to carve this just for the sake of getting this out of the way here. There's more to it. There's way more to it. I'm just getting this out of the way, mostly so I can get my knife in there. I can get my chisel in there. All right. So I'm going to do a little bit of Now I think it's chisel time.